What's up, guys? Armored Puma joining you today for another episode of my series, The Best Guns in Warzone. Today we're going to be looking at another AR, the AN94. Now, this is a gun that a lot of people confuse with the CR56 AMAX, especially when they pick it up off ground loot. One of the things that's unique about the AN94 is what Activision calls hyperburst, which means when you press the trigger once, you get a 2-round burst. So the start of this fully automatic gun is a 2-round burst followed by obviously the rest of the mag. So we're going to dive into this one today. I'm going to take a look at all the perks, help you understand how to set it up to best suit you, and hopefully this is going to be really helpful. If this is a gun for you that you like to use, or if you're looking for something to change up off the meta, the AN94 can be a really great option. Let's take a look. First thing we're going to do here is look at the stock gun and what the recoil pattern is. I'll show you guys. If you watch closely, you can see this hyper burst, 2-round burst to start off the clip. But we're going to take a look at the stock gun, 30-round mag. And if you guys didn't see it, here's the hyper burst again. One trigger squeeze and you get 2 bullets. So that's one of the reasons that I've used this and I kind of like it, is it'll help get shots downrange quicker, especially early on if you hit your shots. So what we see is a pretty consistent up and to the right, maybe straight up a little bit and then off, up and to the right, straight up a little bit and then off to the right. This leads me to believe that I'm going to want to use a commando foregrip on this one to control recoil stabilization, which is the lateral left to right movement, as opposed to the Merc or the Ranger foregrip, which is going to even out the vertical recoil. Next up, we've got the AN94 with our first of the 3 attachments. We always focus on 3. Monolithic suppressor. This is the long-range barrel for this gun, the AN94 factory X4 38mm, and the commando foregrip. I have a feeling that this setup is going to be our preferred way to go over the Merc or the Ranger foregrip. But let's take a look. Still have a 30-round mag. Let's see.
Low ammo.
All right, there we go. So again, it's smoothed out a lot of the left, right, and the vertical as well. But you can see it's a much smoother sort of curve on the recoil. Now, again, when we look at recoil and how to set these guns up for range and for Warzone, what we're really thinking about is not eliminating recoil so much as we are thinking about how can we only leave the manageable recoil. How can we eliminate the recoil that's hard to control and leave the stuff that we can. Next up, this loadout, we have a Ranger foregrip, I believe. So we've got the same 3. Again, we're not going to look at attack laser, stock, anything like that. I always go with 3 to start. Monolithic suppressor, long-range barrel, and the grip. Now on the grips, if you'll notice, commando foregrip helps with recoil stabilization. Again, that's left and right. And aim stability, which is how much sway you get when you're ADSing. The Merc foregrip gives you recoil control, which helps with vertical. My ATV just blew up. Recoil control, which helps with vertical and hipfire accuracy. The Ranger foregrip helps with recoil control and aim stability. But the stats, we get more accuracy, or I'm sorry, we get the same accuracy as the Merc foregrip. Same accuracy bump. We get the same accuracy, more range, and more control. We take a slightly bigger hit to mobility. So the Ranger is actually going to be the way to go if you're looking between the Ranger and the Merc. So let's see how this performs.
Low ammo.
All right, there you have it. So pretty smooth. We've gotten rid of most of the horizontal recoil. And what's left is a lot of vertical, which is way more manageable than horizontal. So this Ranger foregrip is probably going to be the underbarrel attachment to use with the AN94. All right, guys, so real quick, I want to talk to you about why it's important to do what I'm doing. You can do all this on your own. I'm just in a private, custom multiplayer match right now, which is just me, so it's just me messing around on a map. Now, when we talk about some of these attachments and what they're supposed to do versus what they actually do, now the gun that I've got has the Commando foregrip on it. If you'll remember, the Commando foregrip helps with recoil stabilization. Okay, and that says it. Here we go. We'll just go over all this. Recoil stabilization, which again is supposed to help with left and right movement. It stabilizes the recoil. And that makes sense if you think about holding a gun that has a Commando foregrip like this on it. You would think, well, it's kind of helping me from moving, you know, left and right as I shoot the gun. This is supposed to not really affect vertical at all. It's just supposed to tighten up the spread left and right. Now, if we go to the loadout that has the Ranger foregrip on it, the Ranger foregrip here is supposed to help with recoil control, which is supposed to be vertical. And vertical recoil, this sort of makes sense when you think about holding a gun like this. It's got this sort of grip sticking down underneath the barrel. It's probably easier for you to keep that gun from like lifting on you and really running away as you fire it. Now, in practice, if we look at this, the Commando foregrip, now this spray pattern right here on the right is the Ranger foregrip. Okay, now we're looking at the setup that is supposed to eliminate left and right. Now, here's what I'll say. The Commando foregrip definitely tightens the spread more, meaning bullet to bullet, there's not as much variation. But when you look at, so we've got nice smooth lines here on our spray pattern. Look at these last two and tell me that you wouldn't rather try to control this recoil. This has left to right. The Commando foregrip, from what I'm looking at here, has way more left to right overall, meaning throughout the clip, I'm going to have to try to control the left and right movement to hit shots downrange. The Ranger foregrip, on the other hand, while it has a little bit more bullet-to-bullet horizontal recoil, has much less overall, right? I mean, look at the left-right overall here, left-right overall here. So when I think about managing recoil, me personally, maybe you guys are different, but me personally, I'm going to want to go with the Ranger foregrip because I can manage this much easier than I can this, if that makes sense. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. This is what I believe is going to be the best performing AN94 to use in Warzone. Let me just pull it up. We've got the VLK3 optic, the monolithic suppressor, the long barrel, Ranger foregrip. We already went over these three. So the last two are sort of your bonus, your bonus attachments. What do you want to use to personalize it? I highly recommend these three. What do you want to do with the other two? I'm going to go with the VLK3 optic because it has a hidden 10% reduction in vertical and horizontal recoil that it's not going to show you about on the stats, but it is there. How do I know that? YouTube. And I'm going to go with the 60-round casket mag. I like having more ammo in each mag. It just helps me down people or multiple people when I play Warzone. So we're going through the sort of real-life field test on this map. First up, I'm going to be shooting at this target. I'm going to try to actively counteract the recoil and see how well I can do. Okay, not bad. So you could tell that there was a good amount of still some left and right kick, but most of the recoil was vertical, right? And I was able to keep it. I mean, that's a really tight spread, honestly. That's one of the better performing guns that I've used, and I've done almost all the ARs. So pretty good. Pretty good hit. If this is, if this is a dude's dead. All right, next up, I'm going to be shooting at this target down here. Our first target was about 30 or 40 meters away. This one's about 100 or 120 meters away. Again, this is really pushing the limits of where you're going to want to use an AR, but it's good to know the capabilities of the AR and kind of where that limit lies. So let's see if we can hit our Shiny Peak lightning bolt down here.
Low ammo.
Really not bad. We don't see bullet impacts from this far away. Let me try that one more time. All right, so honestly, one of the best performing ARs that I've ever used at this range. Now you could tell, sort of as as I was going through that mag, you're getting a lot of this sort of kick. You see little kicks left and right like that, but for the most part, they counteract themselves. And with this setup, the recoil that I'm using, it's all I'm doing is slowly pulling down, whether it's mouse or joystick, slowly pulling down to counteract. And I was able to land a lot of shots. I've probably never seen a fully automatic AR do as well as I was able to do on this one. So that actually kind of surprises me. All right, guys, thanks for checking out the video. I've got to say, every time I do these videos, I'm always sort of surprised in some ways to find out certain things about certain guns. The AN94, now I've used it. Personally, I haven't gone into that much depth to sort of mess around with some of the attachments like I did in the video. But I think you'll find if you use this gun, that it can be really effective in Warzone. It can be the meta. I think it's kind of an overlooked gun in terms of what it can do. One that kind of flies under the radar, and as you can see with this setup that I talked about, just a couple minutes ago, that it can be a really effective gun. When I do these videos, I like to look at the pros and cons and sort of why you might like to use a certain gun and why maybe you wouldn't want to use it. Some guns are known for their damage. Some guns are known for their accuracy. The AN94 really kind of lies in the middle. It's got good damage. It has good accuracy. It has decent range. In fact, it's got one of the better performing long-range target tests that I've ever done. It was with that gun, which is shocking because I would have thought it would have been the M13 or something. But it's a really good sort of all-around gun. And with the Hyperburst, I think you can win some gunfights that you might not win with other guns. So I would say definitely give this one a shot. As always, guys, thanks for stopping by and checking out the video today. We've got about 12% of our views are coming from subscribers. So if you haven't already, just go ahead and subscribe now to my channel. It's free. I'm not going to charge you anything for that. And you can follow me on all my socials, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And I'm currently streaming fb.gg/armoredpuma17. Guys, see you next time.